All right. We are live. We're live. Okay. Well, good. All right. We're gonna get some writing in today. We're gonna eat some Ellio pizza today. Ellio's. I don't know how you say it. I don't want your help, fake book specialist. Mr. Figbles, book specialist, you. What are you doing? Can't get up there. The other cat's up there. I think there's another cat outside somewhere. Who cares? Who cares on any of this? I came across your book recently. Is it for sale on Amazon? Well, that's the only place it's for sale, lady. That means you didn't really look. It means you're a liar. And that's upsetting. I'm going to charge my watch. We eat some Ellio's pizza. This right here, this is 3 slices. They call that 3 slices of pizza. There's 9 slices in the box. But just going to nibble on it. Like when I was a kid. Yeah, cover your mouth. All right. My goal is to get a couple pages in. Nothing crazy. My goal is to drink some coffee. My goal is to eat some more Ellio's pizza. That's how I eat it. trying to get the hairs out of my keyboard. What's up, Chad? Morning, afternoon, Armand. What are we working on today? We're going to work on the King of the Mountain Southern Gothic Noir thriller. SGNT. We're also going to work on more of this Ellio's pizza for lunch. What are you working on today? Anything? Trying to finish that horrible book? Drop peas on my leg. When do you think you'll be done with that? Mom. There's Charlie. 36,000 words. I thought I'd be done by now. Maybe another week. Huh. Okay. What are you going to work on after that? The week after? Leaning towards Walls of Horror for the YouTube channel. I like it. Now start doing it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. People are so stupid. Somebody said, "Oh, my wife is reading Bronte," and I took a peek, and there's some really, really big words. Anybody know where I can get a Bronte saurus? And it was obviously like a dumb old man joke, and then somebody was being helpful, and they listed like three, Cliff Notes kind of things. And then the guy was like, it was just a joke. I guess you missed that part. Just a great question. Obviously, I asked it. There's a lot I'd like to tackle. I could get back to the Owl sequel. It also started a sequel to Three Smile a while back. I also have a 63,000 word novel finished that needs rewriting. So you got a lot of stuff. Plus, aren't you and John Bowden going to finish that thing up? You get it? Brontosaurus? Tessa, but then I've been really wanting to write a bunch of shorts, and then there's the trailer park thing with Bowden, which is Charlie says absolutely stealing that. Well, if you were 80 years old, like I'm sure the person is who wrote that, Just the funny part is then the guy posted like 3 different how to read Bronte things. I'm like, what? So you got a lot you can play around with, Chad, which is good. I'm almost halfway to 80. Almost. You're not nearly as old as Chad is. It's 67 degrees out right now. Chess, I've been reading some great short story writers, and that's been fun. I'd like to hone that skill, which can help with longer fiction too. Yeah, definitely. I've been working on all these other things. I really haven't. Every week, I'm like, oh, I'm going to send out some of these short stories. I'm going to write another short story, and then I just keep writing all this other stuff. I need to see what's just dangling. What's a dangling participle at this point? Finish a story or two. That would be nice. For those who don't know, I posted another video this morning. So please add that to your queue, to your quag. It went live about, I don't know, less than an hour ago. I already got 123 views on it. So that's pretty good. That's, I think, pretty good. And I'm at almost I'm at 9886 on subscribers. And I'm at 3,372 hours. So I added another 41 hours yesterday. So if you're watching my videos, I appreciate it. Keep it going. Keith says, I watched it and you've been my motivation. The wind beneath your little, I don't know what they call those. Appreciate you watching it, Keith. Now, watch it 2 more times. Yes, those things. Man, I gotta sneeze. I just can't sneeze. Can't do it. I finished eating I think this is one slice left or something of my Ellio's pizza. Chase says, my attitude towards shorts has changed over the years. I used to think if you didn't have a gotcha ending, then why bother? Then I started trying to write ones that entertained the whole time with the gotcha moment. Yeah, reading. I've read about a dozen of these longer shorts for the Derringer so far, and a couple of them I really like. A couple of them, like, you know what? That is a solid story. There's also a couple other ones. I'm like, who recommends who voted for this one in the initial 40? You know. Chess says, now I'm reading a lot of open-ended stories that really go nowhere, that are great to read and far different than what I'm used to, but they're told so well that I'd like to learn that now. Yeah. A lot of the if you read, obviously Shotgun Honey and Guilty Magazine and Thriller Magazine, and punk noir, all of those. A lot of those crime thrillers are there. It's more than a scene, but there's so much more that the writer is not showing the reader. And I like that. It drives my wife nuts if the story's not perfectly wrapped up real nice for her. I'm like, I remember I read The Rising by Brian Keene. That was the reason I started writing zombie fiction back in the day. And I loved that ending. And then I was like, hey, read this. Tell me what you think about this. Because everybody's raving about this book. And I think it's a very good book. And she read it and she's like, oh my God, I hate that. Why did he end it like that? I'm like, I have no problem with that. I sent one in, I think, to Punk Noir or Shotgun Honey, one of those. And they were like, no, you need an ending to this story. And I'm like, I don't think I do. And then I sold it somewhere else and they liked it. See, Charlie liked it. I just found out my cable is doing a free baseball preview until the 2nd, till next Thursday. So I'll have a week to watch all the Red Sox games, which is nice. And tomorrow I can. Tomorrow the Red Sox are on at 4. Tigers are also on at 4 o'clock for me, and so I'll probably go back and forth between those couple games and every other single game starting at 1 o'clock. Wes, you're not going to watch the game tonight, are you? I said, Yankees? No, I don't watch Yankee games. I'll watch any other team. I'll literally sit there and I'll watch like any other team. I'll be like, oh, what? Oh, the Reds are playing the Pirates. It's a game. Let's watch it. It's baseball. Yankees, no. No, thank you. Just the stories I'm reading are just like two kids are building a plane and think they're going to fly one day, but they need a canopy and go and stack wood for someone, and they get muddy. Then they get the canopy from a friend and talk about adding him to their two-man team. They think better of it at the end. So they're like character stories, you know? I like that. The conversations. So I read the Friends of Eddie Coyle, the book, did a review of it. Didn't put it up last night because last night I watched the movie with what's his name, Mitchum and Peter Boyle. The movie was good. It's 1973. So it's a 1973 movie, which is funny because it's 50-something years old. And even back then, Mr. Boyle was completely bald on top with the hair on the side. But I thought it was good. I thought there was one change from the book to the movie, but it was a very minor one. A lot of the dialogue, same dialogue was used. So I did a review, which this afternoon I should put up the movie review, the book review, and then the movie review in short order. So those will both be up, but not bad at all. I liked it. I want to try to keep doing that. If I read something that also has a movie, I want to watch the movie and review it afterwards as well. See what the differences are. Like I did with A Single Shot. Tobias Wolff. What's her name? Do you think anybody in his life calls him Toby? I got to believe somebody calls him Toby. There's a movie for the Hoover book I just finished. Have you and her talked about her thoughts on the movie? No, she did send me another message yesterday though. It's weird though because it just seems like we've never met, and it seems like it's the first time she's ever sent me a message, which is weird because I want to write back and go, "You've sent me 12 messages. I think we're a lot friendlier. We should be a lot friendlier now, don't you?" I'm thinking eating those Ellio's pizzas was the wrong thing to do today. Plus, I stick them on a cooking sheet, and I don't spray it. I don't do anything with it. And then the 9 pieces, 3, 3, and 3 of the Ellio's pizza. Cook it. Comes out of the oven. I take a spatula out, and I hit that thing, and it doesn't move, and the spatula breaks. I'm like, son of a bitch. So then I take another spatula out, and I start scraping gently, and it's taking forever. And then I'm almost to the end. This is the first piece, and I'm all and boom, 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 and I break that spatula too. I think we're down to one spatula now, which is ridiculous. So I'm gonna, when my wife gets home, I'll say, "Hey, before you leave for Texas, can you, I don't know, order 30 spatulas for us?" He says, "What are you supposed to be writing today?" Hey, how dare you? I already wrote 600 words of this. My King of the Mountain, the Southern Gothic noir thriller. I'm at 36,000 words on it. I'm going to say it's roughly halfway done. Roughly. Maybe a little less than halfway done. I'm probably looking at 75 to 80 on this. Very cool. And I kid. I took offense, but you know what? Now that you said I kid and you said it twice, that means you really are kidding. If you just said I kid, I'd be like, you're a liar. But to say I kid, comma, I kid, oh, okay. He is kidding. That is definitely, he is definitely kidding. I might have to basically take a an agita pill, a heartburn pill, because the pizza sauce. Yeah, my wife goes to Texas tomorrow until Sunday. So tonight we're supposed to go for Korean hot pot, which will be fun. Chet just talked to Bowden yesterday, and he still hasn't seen a dime from Cemetery Dance. His book is still with him because he doesn't know how to just pull it and put it out himself. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, people keep working with people like that because they don't know any better. They think, well, that's a big name. They won't screw me over, and I'll just ignore everyone that's been screwed over because I'm so much better. I figured them. Yeah, as soon as I read it, I'm like, I figured it was a them versus us, spy versus spy. Chad says, I remember learning a valuable lesson about asking around about a publisher's rep when I jumped into bed with Bloodshot. I remember all that debacle. Okay, so Chad, I'm going to be starting out by the barn tonight. I finished below last night. Ugh, what a disappointment that was. Ugh. Fucking Keith just ugged you. This is better than hugging you, right? Unless you want to hug you. Chet says, I made the mistake of asking James Newman about his experience with them. Never asked the Golden Egg how their experience has been because it's always going to be good. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta those the people that you saw they put out a book, but you didn't see anything else about them, not the top people. Not the people who are wrapped up in the publisher. Just says, hope you love it, Keith. Keith says you'll be the second to know. He'll tell me first. Chet says you want to ask the little people who've been published by the press they're looking into. There's where the truth lies. Exactly. And just don't get one opinion, get a couple opinions. Keith says I put yours in front of Seal the Deal this time, spreading the love. Which is probably a good idea because my Seal the Deal is probably a life-changing book, and you don't want to read that and then have to read something else. It's not fair to the others. It's not fair to the other book. Chez says I'm the opening band. Exactly. You're the opening band, but I'm only giving you like 8 feet of stage. I always love reading those stories, especially like in the 70s. Like all those bands that really like Black Oak, Arkansas. Bands like that like had their 5 minutes, but they treated every opening band like garbage. I always love those stories. He says, Armin will love this. I went by size. Yeah, size matters. That's what all the prostitutes tell me. 8 feet of stage in 20 minutes. Exactly. And do not even think of bumping into my drum riser. Your drums on the stage. Your amps in front of my amps. I remember Manowar would do that. There's a lot of stories in the 90s that they would have their wall of amps. And they would always say, our wall of amps is not like Van Halen's. Ours are all plugged in. All of our amps work. They're not just cabinets up there, just empty shells to make it look like we have this huge stage. And I'm thinking, Van Halen's playing in arenas at this point. You guys are playing at like 500 seat clubs. Calm down. Chess, I'm going to use your pyro though. Do not use my pyro. You know how much that stuff costs? Don't even think about my dry ice. But then when you do, and if you burn the club down, then we can blame it on you. So go ahead, use it. And do not even think about coming into our dressing room at any point and making sandwiches or getting any of the fruit. That fruit is for us. Too soon. All the fruit is ours. He says, I thought you weren't somebody unless you asked for only green M&Ms. True. Remember, I managed a band in the 90s, Mass Psychosis, and they, we always had the riders. I would always have to put the rider together, and it was, none of them drank, but they always would want like Macanudo cigars. 6 Macanudo cigars was the rider. The bass player loved drinking Kool-Aid. But only red Kool-Aid. I only want red Kool-Aid. And then like sandwiches and stuff and like, I don't know, Skittles, whatever it was. And then there was a Toad's Place in Connecticut, New Haven. And they would always want 2 small bottles of whiskey. They've been playing there for several years. And I said, why do you do that? You guys don't drink. And I drank. I was like, are those for me? And they're like, no. And there was a homeless encampment maybe like a mile away. And so they would take all the food. They would get more food. They would just cover all the trays of food and the 2 bottles, and we would drive the van down there to the homeless encampment. And they play like maybe 2-3 times a year. They would play up there, and they would always beep the horn, and the same 2 homeless guys would come out, and they give them each a bottle. They'd give them all the food and everything, and it was just like one of the things you did after a show. I thought that's pretty. And they're basically like, listen, I don't, oh, you're not supposed to give homeless people alcohol, whatever. Let the guys have a good night. Anyone ever read Crazy from the Heat? Yes, I did many, many years ago. I think when it first came out. I think every band after Van Halen adopted that have something very specific in your rider, because if they're not following that one dumb thing, that means they're not really paying attention and they're not really doing what they're supposed to be doing, and maybe they're not doing other stuff. Yeah. If they walk in and there's brown M&Ms in that bowl, then that means that they're not doing their due diligence for the rest of the stuff. And the thing was like, maybe the stage is going to collapse on us. Maybe the lights are going to collapse. Maybe they're not paying attention. They're just rushing through to get this show done, and that's not good. I thought it was a genius move. At the time, when you hear about it, you hear about it in the news or whatever, it leaks, and it's just like, oh, these prima donnas, blah blah blah. But no. I remember they would play in that band would play in Boston or Rhode Island, and they would always want lobster rolls. All right. They played with in the Stone Pony. They played with At the Gates. I think it was At the Gates, and those guys from Europe, and they wanted McDonald's and Burger King because it's like the '90s, and I think McDonald's and Burger King were over there, but they wanted to taste our versions. So I remember the dressing room had a ton of cheeseburgers and French fries from both places, and a lot of milkshakes. And then I think when they played with who did they play with? Somebody from over there. They were weirded out that our beer was cold. Like, you guys don't have warm beer here. I'm like, no, that's gross. No, 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 no. That's how you have to drink it in Germany. I can't remember what the band was. I don't believe it was Napalm Death. Maybe Annihilation. And I don't think they were from Germany. I don't know who it was. I just remember it was very cool playing with all those bands. I remember Napalm Death at Stone Pony was like, "Isn't there an ocean around here?" I'm like, "Literally right there. Like we're literally across that boardwalk. That's the ocean." They're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna go take a walk over there." I'm like, "All right, knock yourself out. You guys are playing in I don't know half an hour. So don't walk into the ocean." Annihilator, Alice in Hell. No, Annihilation was the band. I got to look them up where they were from. They were from San Francisco. Formed in 1984. They were Deep Freeze, then they were Fourth Reich, then from 84 to 91. And that couldn't have been them if they were only from 91. Oh, there was also Annihilation, death thrash metal from Chicago, thrash metal from Los Angeles, and death metal hardcore from Portland, Oregon. So it could have been any of those bands. So many bands with the same names. I heard you and I used it as a segue. Ah, I see what you did. You were driving around on a Segway on your property. I get it. Just like I remember getting a demo back in the day when I was tape trading from Slayer, but they were from Texas, and then they had to change their name to San Antonio Slayer, S.A. Slayer. There was also a Megadeth, but Death. They might have also been from Texas. I think most Texas bands just stole everybody else's name. I remember there were several Pantera bands, all from like Arizona, Texas, New Mexico. Hopefully, they didn't have awful album covers like the Pantera we know and love. Those first two albums were brutal. I remember when Bill Cosby had to change his name to S.A. Cosby. Yeah, right. Oh, that was pretty meaningful. Well, today I'm looking at my MLB TradeRumors.com, and every team is knocking people off their. Got to have your. I think by 4 p.m. today, you have to have all of your 26-man rosters done. I'm very excited. Just I almost pulled out a Cosby book last night to read. One of the Bill Cosby ones, because he writes some funny stuff. That guy. Ka-chow. Bless you. There's Frank. Chad also said bless you, right? It's like we all said it. All right, I'm gonna do like 3, 4 more lines on this. Then I'm gonna be happy that I might jump into another project. You got in late, Frank. You missed me eating Ellio's pizza. Yeah, it goes in tight. Ellio's pizza that I forgot to spray the cookie sheet, and I scrape it off. I broke 2 spatulas. My wife's gonna be so mad at me. We only had 3 spatulas left in the house. Three. Now we have one. Frank says I'm upset about missing the big eating of the Ellios. Yeah, I ate the first two before I hit go live. I mean, the first 6 pieces because it's 3 pieces. All right. I what do you call it? I don't know. Tonight we're doing Korean hot pocket, hot pocket, hot pot, hot pocket, Korean hot pocket, delicious. I definitely got to get a pill. I'm hoping my wife comes home. She had to go run to the doctor for her follow up. She was taking all the transfusions. Then she was supposed to come home because the dog is here, change the dog's diaper, and then go pick up her aunt to take her to the hospital this afternoon. But then she'll come home a little early. But she's like, I don't want to go to Korean hot pot. I don't want to have Korean hot pockets too early. I'm like, yeah, I don't either. And now that I just ate that, now my stomach feels full and mushy. There's Lorraine. Hey, everybody. I had to read the conversation first to catch up. Charlie, Walls of Horror sounds great. Keith, I just finished Edgar Allan Poe and the Spectre Eliminator. Can't wait to review it. Nice. Ooh. I never know if you can jump in late and then go back and just read it from the beginning. It's good to know that you can do that. That way, when Walls of Horror starts, if I'm late to the party, Keith cannot wait to watch it. Frank gives a lady alert. Charlie says thanks. March 31st. Runaway Heathen, two ladies. Yeah, two ladies in the house now, people. Be there or be square. Exactly. Wow, I'm at 215 views already on the How I Motivate Myself to Write Every Day, the new video that just popped. And the Elmore Leonard's Rules of Writing, 338 views. My thoughts on the first million words you write, 606 views. So I'm getting some views, people. I'm almost at 10,000 words. What are you looking at? This cat just comes jumping up here like something's about to go down. She's about to punch somebody out. There's nothing going on out there. There's not even a lizard. Lorraine says, gonna do the video in the cemetery next door. Goodness. Runaway Heathen says, woo, great job. Awesome. All of it, awesome. Nice. As I chat, I hate that Keith is going to read Out Behind the Barn before I get a chance. Keith says, how's everything coming with that which is true cannot be, Lorraine? Chad says, we talked about the genius of David Lee Roth. Armand offered me a small stage, but no pyro. Bad publishers and annihilation, annihilating annihilator. Pretty much that's all you really had to read. I'm trying to think of what other bands they toured with or played shows with. My ARC readers have it, so I'm almost ready for my May 5th launch. Moved it from May 4th. Why'd you move it to May 4th? Or May 5th? Because it's the Tuesday, because it's Cinco de Mayo. I get it. Keith says, Chad forgot to mention the discussion on size does matter. All the men wept. Yeah. Some more so than others. To capitalize on the Tuesday releases on Amazon. Armin, I'm doing a promotional short of permafrost next week. Very cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. I will share it. There's a lady in Geohold House. Two ladies. Two ladies. Unless you object. Yes, I object to people promoting me. No, have at it. I saw you the thing you did for Keith. Although you with a mustache was a little off-putting. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, why is she dressed like a little old Italian lady? I'll be honest. Very, very cool. I am looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. We're doing it. I'm just lurking today, cleaning but letting the live play. I appreciate you doing that. Appreciate you not turning this off. Frank says I had no plans for promoting permafrost, but now that Lorraine is out here making me look like a lazy roustabout, I'm going to have to develop a whole campaign. Yes, massive campaign for it. Chad says I've left an absolutely scathing review for that thriller I had to read for the new book club I joined. Then I felt bad and deleted it an hour later, but left my 1 star. Lorraine says, "Do it, Frank." Nose itches. Right, so Chad, Charlie, and Frank are next on my calendar for shorts. Chad says, do it, Frank. Build the whole campaign using 5th edition rules. That's the only way to do it. Why do you keep doing that? I get like 30 spam messages, but I look, I'm like, oh, wait, that's not spam. It just means my book came in. I'm not going to leave the house at some point. Drop off a book, pick up a book. Every sentence ends in the word book. Let's see if Tom actually. No, he did not write. He did good last week, two chapters. I'm like, all right, Tom will definitely. He's definitely going to knock off chapter 43, right? Frank says, you see a carry-on crawler reading a dog-eared copy of Permafrost by Armand Rosamilia, swearing a leather bodice. I send my enchanted halfling to fight it. Everybody roll a d6. Everybody roll a d6 for initiative. Yeah, there you go. Roll for initiative. Classic. Ugh. My eyes. Mine eyes. I don't know if I'm going to go 2 hours today, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really not feeling any of this. I mean, you guys, yeah. Make a saving throw versus sleep because you're reading at night. I rolled a 1 last night. I went to bed at 11 o'clock, and I was tired. I'm like, I'm going to start a new book. In fact, I picked up the David Joy book, and I literally read half of the first page, and my eyes started getting all wonky. And I'm like, well, I'll read more tomorrow. And then I was out. As Robert Chest shoot, it's a low pressure situation. I probably should take a nice shower, shave my head before to look presentable for Korean hot pot tonight. Never had it before. Frank says, as you dispatch the thing you said to attack the character carrying crawler, a wizard named Justin Timberlake runs out and rips the breastplate off the carrying crawler's bodice, John Bowden, causing a wardrobe malfunction. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. You're talking about Will Smith punching what's his name in the slapping what's his name. I get it. Nobody wants to eat hot pot with a fuzzy head. John Bodice. Great drummer. Let me see what this video is doing now. We're at 215. We're 216. And a comment? Who's commenting on my videos? This person. So I don't know if you've watched the video, but I make a funny nonsense thing about give a man a fish, he eats for a day kind of thing. but I purposely screwed it up. But this person commented with the right way to say it. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man a fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Yeah, I know what the saying is, you moron. Chester, can you even legally attack Karen Crows by yourself in New Jersey? No. Frank says, give a man an angry fish. Charlie says, I'm back. Had to go chase a cow. Nice. I've dated a few cows in my life. He didn't comment about Metallica. No. Why did I say something about Metallica? I don't remember. I actually recorded that one like 4 or 5 days ago. Chasing walls. Yep. Walls chasing cows. Troy says, sometimes now I need a nap. Yep. Hopefully I'll keep getting some views on this new video today. You got to remember, Keith, there's no planning on any of these videos. It's basically like, here's the topic, talk for 20 minutes. That's literally what I'm doing. Trust I haven't gotten to it yet. I'll watch and comment this afternoon. Thank you. I appreciate that. He says, can't even remember the insult you gave Metallica fans. I don't know. I probably that's on a couple of different videos. Probably something to the effect of after the first 3-4 albums, they were garbage. You said the Black Album was shite because it was. If you were a true Metallica fan before that, that album is garbage. If you were all the dumb jocks in my high school at that point, you're all like, "Oh, that's the greatest album ever." Shut up. Charlie says, "But Charlie, you're too young to remember Metallica when they were not all over the place. When Metallica was our little secret." When you could go see Metallica in a club somewhere, which is what I did. They didn't have videos on MTV. They weren't on the radio. None of these things. No, Charlie was disagreeing. Charlie said boo. But he's young. He's a young kid. Young kid don't know any better. He probably listens to Slipknot. Keith says, I wasn't disagreeing. Frank says, your mama's so stupid she thinks Lars Ulrich is a good drummer. Was that your Tommy Clark take? Says, I never saw Metallica in a club, but I did see them the first time as an opening band with Cliff. Joe says, I do not listen to Slipknot. Okay, at least you have that going for you. Is he a Nickelback fan? I mean, who isn't a Nickelback fan at this point in your life? Oh, yeah, smart people. Filthy Nickelbackers. I tell the story. I was 14 years old. I saw Metallica and Anthrax opening for Twisted Sister at the Fountain Casino in Aberdeen, New Jersey. She says the band Y&T is censoring me again. I don't know, YouTube. I tried posting this. I listened to Kill 'Em All yesterday and the day before. Man, I used to always play that in the 80s every day. Troy says Nickelback is the best rock band. He was just joking, though, people. You're just joking before you freak out on him. Agreed. Oh, people like, you might not like Nickelback, but in concert, they have such a great they play the songs a lot heavier. They have such a great groove. Blah blah. I'm like, why would I go see Nickelback? Robert Chachuda said a critic once told Stallone that he only made movies for stupid people. Sly replied, "That's okay. It's a big market." Very true. Robert Chachuda, I think, is getting upset. We're talking shit about the Canadian band Nickelback. So, Robert Chachuda, I want to say for everybody else, I apologize. For me myself, they're not a good band. They're no Killer Dwarves. They're no Razor. They're no Helix. They're no Odin. Robert says, sure, Jan. I don't know what that means. You call me Jan Brady? Oh, Chad Lesky updated his cover photo. I got tagged on a couple things on Facebook. I'm looking real quick, and I'm just like, why? Why am I over here? Everything I'm looking at is literally just ads for things. Yep. See, you do know what it means. Yeah, I figured you were doing that. Like, why am I following people and my whole feed is full of things to follow and ads? Ooh, that guy's playing a Rush song. Time to get off here. Rush has got to be the worst. I would listen to Nickelback before I listen to Rush. Chad says Chad with the hilarious Odin deep cut and crickets. I don't. I have heard an Odin song because they were on some various artists thing back in the day. Because I think Facebook changed notification a few days ago. It's mostly notification from groups now. I had to go into my settings and change things. I'm not even on here enough. But literally everything I'm seeing right now are just ads or groups I do not belong to. Runaway Heathen said, "Oh, I had an ex, and saying that about Rush would have given him an aneurysm. He's a pretentious dick anyway." Yeah, because he listens to Rush. Should have known right then. You should have been like, "Yeah, you need to be an ex way sooner than this." Chad says, "Grade is the best Canadian band anyway." I don't even know who that is. If Cronenberg were a band, that would probably be the best Canadian band. Right, says Neil Peart was like his idol. And what happened to that guy? He died. I don't know if that really has anything to do with anything. Frank says, "Is Lewis writing on Sunday?" Who the hell is Lewis? CK? Yeah. Yeah, he'll be there. I gotta jump out. Um, I gotta jump out by 11. I gotta go pick up my wife at the airport. So if we jump in, get some writing in. Neil Peart thought I love this shampoo. Right? He had just the best shampoo ever. See the ads on. I'm still on. I still can't get off Facebook. All the ads on like bicycle ads, UPS ads. Why am I? That's why I know their advertising is crap. Alice Cooper, his new memoir, "Devil on My Shoulder," written by Geezer Butler. Lou E. Chet says, "Lol, Peart. Do they even make that green goo anymore?" I think they do. At least I hope they do. That's the only thing I use on my hair. Somebody asked me not too long ago. So you don't use shampoo? Why would I? Why would I not? This is hair. I got hair all over my back and my nether regions. I get all silky smooth. All right. Goodbye, Facebook, for another week. And now Google Drive is like, "Oh, come use this Google Workspace AI thing. Come get." Shut up. Shut up. Frank says, "Google top guys named Louis that we miss." Chad says, "I use whatever the wife buys, just as long as I got my Irish Spring." Maybe it's too early for pop culture nostalgia. I mean, I guess when Nick Zinn pops in. 80s shampoos, soaps, and colognes from yesteryears. Famous, we'll do the Louis. Famous Louis we miss. Louis Armstrong, Satchmo. He died in 1971. Lou Gehrig. He died in 41. Louis Prima. He died in 78. Louis Zepparini. He died in 2014. Louis Tomlinson. I was like, who the hell is that? He's known for his success in the music industry as a member of One Direction. Louis Ferrigno. Robert Chu said, I'd stay to listen to you expand on thoughts about your nethers, but I just finished 1860 new words, so it's time for lunch. Enjoy your lunch, whatever that Canadian lunch would be. Probably a Molson. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Yep. Hawk Louie. Wow. All right. 1980s shampoo brands. 80s shampoos you love and miss terribly. Let's see if anybody knows any of these. Finesse. Remember Finesse? This stuff smelled amazing, and conditioner left your hair as slick as a dolphin's underbelly. But it was expensive, and if your parents cared about budgets, you had to settle for something less. Salon Selectives. And I said, oh my God, the apple scent. Prel. Remember Prel? Prel shampoo from the 80s was so concentrated that it was rumored to have been used to clean the space shuttle's engines between missions. If you accidentally squeezed too hard, you'd have enough suds to wash a car, a neighbor's cat, and your hair all at once. It was the Hulk of shampoos, strong, green, and ready to tackle even the wildest hair disasters. Perma Soft. Fabergé Organics. Remember that one. Jirmac. Jhirmack. It had Victoria Principal as its spokeswoman in the 80s. And her hair was so fabulous, it had its own fan club. Wella Balsam. Dimension. Frank says Something Rain, VO5. Says enjoy your bacon and beer, Robert. Until next time, Walls of Louis. Herbal Essence with their shower orgasm. I remember those. Yeah, a dolphin's underbelly, Charlie. White Rain, Frank, that was my favorite. Prel, yeah, White Rain. Johnson's Baby, Cosmic Brownies, and Shoulders. So we had Dimension, Pert shampoo, a staple of the 80s, was known for its distinctive green bottle and an invigorating tingle when applied to the scalp. God, was it fun. Aussie, Jojoba. Those are the ones on that list. Let's see if there's anything on this list. Cosmic Brownies and Shoulders sounds like a shampoo Tim Meyer would use. Selsun Blue. Oh, yeah, Selsun Blue. So Finesse, Salon Selectives, Pert Plus, Fabergé Organics. Gee, your hair smells terrific. Body on Tap. Body on Tap, a popular brand that featured real beer, aiming to add body to hair. Halsa, Permasoft, Wella Balsam, White Rain, which is a budget-friendly staple throughout the 80s and 90s. Prel, and Agree. For instance, what was that horsehair shampoo? Mane and Tail? Denorex felt like using menthol pine needles. And oh my God, I remember my mother would get that. Oh, that was awful. It's probably why I have no hair. Let me get out of that one because that one is basically just a clickbait thing. It's all the same. It's all the same one. Those are the big ones. Chad says, "Yeah, Denrix was thin and brown like tobacco spit." Yeah, I remember that. And you get that like that tingle, and I'm like, "This is burning. This is burning. My hair's gone." Runaway Heathen says, "I can't think of Head and Shoulders without thinking of Evolution, the movie, because they use it to defeat the aliens." Nair, yeah. What's this one? That's the same crap. Ches says, "Exactly, man. It was like smoking a cool cigarette through your scalp." Frank says, "Well, don't have to watch Evolution now." Yeah, thanks for ruining that one for us. I was just about to watch that, whatever it is. It's all the same. It's basically somebody used the same list over and over and over on all these posts. Or they've taken those posts and they've put them into, come on. Now I'm in a clickbait thing and I can't get out of it. All right. Frank is a 25-year-old movie. He only watches movies that are 25 years or more. He was all set to watch it. That was what he was going to do in this time next year. He was going to watch that movie, and now he can't because you ruined it. Lorraine says, "I stepped away for a minute and come back to RH talking about taking out aliens with head and shoulders." Yeah, so you really didn't miss much. Frank says, "Goonies older, and Armand hasn't seen that." Yeah, but don't ruin it for me. Right, Heathens, but now you have to watch it to see why they use it. Yeah. I mean, I just watched a movie from 1973 yesterday. So I'm gonna be honest with you, people. I'm probably gonna do an hour and a half. Right? He says she's not sorry. She is not sorry at all. Right? So chatting about movies and dandruff. Chad says no spoilers on Knots Landing, please. I was just about to tell you who shot Jr. Wrong show. Frank says, "I was gonna saw World Peace, but I guess I gotta watch Evolution now." Yeah. I don't even know. I gotta look this up. See what this even is. From 2001. David Duchovny, Julianne Moore, Sean William Scott, Orlando Jones, Ethan Suplee, Sarah Silverman. That's an all-star cast for 2001. Ivan Reitman. This thing make any money? Budget was $80 million. The box office was $98.4 million. And it has a 2001 soundtrack to it as well. Chet says that's Dallas, but no spoilers on that either because I'm only on season 5. Troy says JR. Frank says it's a cast if all the 90s people that are no longer relevant in the early aughts. Charlie, you're not too young to know the line, who shot JR? I hope not. So this has the music soundtrack has Power Man 5000, Buck Cherry, Wild Cherry, play that funky music. %44 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It was adapted into an animated series titled Alienators Evolution Continues, which aired on Fox Kids from 2001 to 2002. All right, there you go. Never heard of that. Runaway Heathen says it's funny, but very early 2000s humor. Troy says, I'm just joking with the elders. My mom was a big Dallas watcher. Wow. Thanks for making all of us feel old. Chaz says, some of you didn't have a Who Shot JR t-shirt, and it shows. Yeah. I remember my parents were very excited over that. Lorraine says, I was in middle school at the time, and a super cool teacher had to spend half the class voting about JR on the blackboard. That's funny. I don't even remember who shot JR. And I remember even back in the not really even caring. My parents were very excited that I remember they were very excited that night. Chess, remember the I'm with stupid and stupid's with me shirts? I do. Does anyone remember? Doubtful. It looks like it's starting to rain a little bit. A lot of teams designated people for assignment today, getting rid of people like crazy. Gotta have your opening day roster set. Chess says, I'm not kidding about no Dallas spoilers. Right, he says, my dad had a Frodo Lives bumper sticker. Wow. Lorraine says, the JR part, not the shirts, Chad. Frank says, didn't they do a Who Did JR shoot the following season? Frank says, and it was Lorne Green that shot JR or Lorne Michaels. I thought they both pulled the trigger. She says, I just remember the Bobby scene in the shower. Please, no. That's going to be very hard to do, Keith. Chesa, 2 days before the first Tigers game, which starts in the middle of the freaking night. No, it's a 4:00 game. Come on. Thursday, Detroit is in San Diego at 4:10 p.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow, opening day. Scoble versus Pavetta. No, I'm looking at regular season. They're not putting Scoble out for the last game. Scoble's pitching the opener. Spring training is over. Spring training, everybody closed it. There's some games today. Yeah, spring training is over. You got the Tigers playing tomorrow. And then they're playing game 2 is 9:40 Eastern. So it's like 8:40 for you or something. That's not bad. Stop being an old man. First game friend. Oh shoot, you're right. Of course I'm right. You're the professor, but yet you're always wrong. I drove an 88 Pavetta. See, this is why I'm just the opening. Exactly. You would have been like, oh, I missed. Oh, opening day at 9:40 at night, and then be like, oh wait, they played yesterday. Yeah, Framber Valdez is pitching that second game. Framber. I wish my name was Framber. Like, how can it be spring training if the season starts tonight? No, it's 9:40. I'm Eastern. Oh, I didn't know if you were also Eastern Standard Time. So it is. That is late. 9:40 is ridiculous. I hate those. The Mariners, when the Red Sox played the Mariners, it was like a 10:05 game every time last year, and I'm like, I'm not sitting out up till 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll watch the highlights tomorrow. The good part is then they'll play on the weekend. So nope. Saturday Tigers play Padres at 8:40. And they're not even playing Sunday. Schedule's whack. Yeah, Monday, then you're playing in Arizona at 10:10 p.m. Definitely watching tomorrow's game, though. I'll need to get my Detroit Network sub started. Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, no, I know they're definitely playing at 4 o'clock because the Red Sox are also playing at 4 o'clock tomorrow. We need some expansion teams. First we got to have, after this season, we're going to have a strike. So there will be no teams. But then, yeah, I think within the next 3-4 years, we're going to have. My wife will not be coming home before her aunt's doctor's visit, which is fine. Yeah, we'll definitely get 2 more expansion teams. The cool part is the thought would be that then they would realign everybody geographically, and it would be 32 teams and 4 team northeast west kind of things. Bring back the Expos. They'll never bring back the Expos. They couldn't make it back then. They definitely ain't gonna make it now. My feelings reading along would be Nashville and Portland, Oregon. Those 2 will get expansion teams. Chad says we need to stop all the greedy stuff with sports. Dudes making billions can't watch games without paying 4 different services a bundle through. Yeah. Yeah, it is getting ridiculous. And when they have a lockout come December, and then they do like they did the last time, and then people are very slow to come back to baseball because of it. Charlie says Nashville getting a team would be cool. The team they have now in Nashville, the AAA Nashville Sounds, that's a good, that's a nice stadium over there. But obviously they would have to make a bigger one. Frank says Portland, ugh. Yeah, but that'll be what they'll do. And then the big talk would be um let's do this where the Yankees and the Mets are in the same division. So it'd be like Yankees, Mets, Phillies, Red Sox, something like that. Those four teams would be in the same. They would be in the East, and you'd have like the Cubs and the White Sox would be in the same. You'd have like all the California teams, like that kind of thing. But then he would do the balanced schedule. Basically, we're just going to copy everything the NFL does. Chess is not to mention all these gambling apps and what not sponsoring all the sports. They're trying to suck us dry like some sporty mafia. Yeah. Frank says, I'm finally going to see a game in New Yankee Stadium next month. Nice. Who are you going to see? I'm going to guess the Yankees. I've ever been to the new Yankee Stadium. Not like I want to go, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, like we're going on our anniversary. We're going to Biloxi on 17th, 18th, 19th of April. And on our anniversary on that Saturday, we're going to the restaurant in the casino that we really like. My wife loves their steak, and I love their. I figure the Yankees were playing. Who are they playing against? Do you know? Like the A's or something, some stupid team. Portland and Alaska are probably the two places I like to live the least in the U.S. I've been to Portland, Oregon, and it was awful. Anything on the West Coast to me is I do not like. You go past Texas, maybe, and I don't even know if I even like Texas. You go that far west, and I'm out. Biloxi Mud Pigeons. I believe that is the name of the Biloxi Shuckers. But we're going, and then she's like, oh, because it's at a different casino than the one we're staying at. I'm like, listen, if you want to stay there and gamble for 2-3 hours, go ahead. They have the sports bet in all of these places. I'll just sit and I'll watch 37 TVs playing baseball games. And you lose an hour or you gain an hour, however that works. So while Chad at 10:10 is watching the Tigers, it'll only be 9:10 in Biloxi, and I could watch the game. Phillies, I think. That'll be a good game. Troy says, I understand Portland. Why Alaska? The weather? I'd rather live in Alaska than a lot of places. Chet says, yeah, the weather, and I couldn't deal with any of the areas where you barely have sunlight. Makes sense to Charlie. Yeah, that, because I watched the Alaska State Troopers show, and it's so funny because there's always a couple episodes where he's like, okay, so it's 3:00 in the morning right now, and it's like bright and sunny. And he's like, and all the meth heads who haven't slept and can't sleep because it's so bright out here. I'm like, that's crazy. Chez's highest suicide rate is in Alaska. Poor folks. Poor folks or poor folks? That Alaska State Trooper thing is interesting because they'll fly to some of the Inuit villages and they'll have the tribal officer. So literally for the whole village, they have one cop who is just part of the community. And if anybody does anything, he's got to call the state troopers and they have to fly in a couple of days later. Troy said, my wife staffs the hospital in Barrow, Alaska, and nurses make bank going to work there for 3 months. I'm sure. It's like hazard pay. It's like working on Antarctica, you know? Like working on a pole, and then you and the guys are walking around, all of a sudden there's an alien spaceship frozen. And what are we shooting at a dog for? Oh, because that dog is an alien. Oh, but God bless them. God bless all the children of Alaska. I like that show too because they keep going to the same property and finding drug addicts on it. Like, you probably should just park down the block. Says, what are we shooting at a dog for? Yeah. I bet you couldn't make that scene now because everybody would freak out. Oh, you can't kill dogs. Just as because it's a thing. Exactly. I mean, we know that. They don't know that. Well, I guess I am going to go 2 hours since I got about 15 more minutes or so, and we're having these stunning conversations. Lorraine's probably dropped out already. She's like, I can't do this anymore. Charlie says, you're probably right. It'd also be misogynist because it's an all male cast. Yeah, unless they had two of the males were lovers. You're allowed to do that. But yeah, you should definitely have a a woman in the cast. Some skinny hot chick for no reason. There's no reason she would be there. Nick Zinn says, speaking of stunning, here's Nick. 15 minutes left in the broadcast. Chess says, you could do it in an indie movie, but not a Hollywood one. They're out of touch with reality anyway. Yeah. It's weird that a game is going to be on Netflix tonight. Frank, woman in a cast because you broke her leg. It's an arm cast. Get it? Although if you had a woman, she would be a lesbian because that's literally everything that I see. Just says, yeah, Netflix had an NFL Christmas. Yep, I remember that. Yeah, I remember scrambling on the holiday, like, well, where are these football games actually going to be? And I'm sure we're going to do that this year as well. And like everybody says, at some point you're going to have 14 different play. Well, I got to have Peacock because I have to watch the Saturday games, and then the Sunday games are only on Netflix. The Monday games are only on Hulu, and then Tuesday, if you want to watch the games, is on Disney. It's going to be ridiculous. But then baseball's going to shoot itself in the foot, and they're going to go on strike next year, and then nobody will care. I remember the last one they went on strike. When they shut down for the COVID stuff initially, but I'm like, well, I'm still playing my baseball game. Still doing that. Before I forget, I want to thank everybody for watching. I also want to thank the people who watch after the fact. I know there's several people that will watch this tonight. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments, concerns, questions. That's also fun. And I dropped a new video. I probably will drop another video Friday, an extra video, and then Sunday will be another video. So an extra video coming this week. Trying to get the numbers up, trying to get monetized. So we'll see what happens. Let me see what this video today was. It was 216 views about a half an hour ago. It's 237. I'll take it. I'll take it to the limit. Chaz, if anyone is able to help with promo for Avon Wood Exodus for this Friday's release, I'd appreciate it. How many baseball strikes have we lived through? Well, let's look that shit up. Baseball strikes and lockouts. Numerous. 8 major work stoppages, strikes, and lockouts throughout its history, with significant stoppages in 1972, 1981, 94-95, and 21-22. The 94-95 was the most damaging, canceling the World Series. '72 strike lasted 12 days, 86 canceled games over pension issues. The 81 strike lasted 50 days, canceling 713 games over free agent compensation. The 94-95 strike, the longest stoppage, lasted 232 days, resulting in 938 canceled games and the loss of the 94 World Series. The 21-22 lockout, initiated by owners on December 2nd, 2022, lasted 99 days, delaying opening dates April 7th, but not canceling games. So, again, December 1st of 2026, it comes up again, and they're going to immediately lock players out, they've said. Basically, the owners are like, we want a salary cap. And the players are like, no way. And one Expos missing the World. Yeah, no Expos were in the World Series. They could have been so beautiful. They were heading in that direction. I feel like we're never going to have a salary cap, which is a shame because they want to also put in a bottom, so like the teams like the Marlins and crappy teams, the A's, stuff like that, won't. Their salary is like $40 million, and the Dodgers are $400 million. So that's not going to be good. The problem is you got some really bad owners who just care about their bottom line, not about the game. And you got players that are just they just care about the money. Except if you're like, oh, so this guy, like the dude on the Cubs, just signed for like whatever it was, 5 years, $105 million or something. I was like, that's a bargain. He's $21 million a year or something, $19 million a year. That's good. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you're saying, that's low. They got him for a song and dance, $19 million a year. Are you insane? Nick says if they keep this up, the Expos will move to Edmonton. Yeah, and nobody wants to move to Edmonton. Nick was late because he was out trying to find Cooper cheese. Frank says, I definitely don't watch baseball like I did when I was younger. I follow along, but I'm a big stat guy. I follow all year round this MLB traderumors.com. I'm on this 4 times, 5 times a day, seeing who's getting traded, which players are moving around. I love all that stuff about it. But then to just sit down and watch baseball, I'll watch it, but I don't want to have to search for games all the time. And I'm not paying any more money than I'm already paying. Because I really wanted to be done with baseball after the 94-95 strike, but then the damn Yankees were finally good again. I mean, not great, but they were good. I mean, they didn't win as many World Series as the Red Sox did. I'm just throwing that out there. All right. Yeah, after that strike, I didn't watch it as much as I used to watch it. I mean, it was the 90s. I was managing bands and going through divorces and so trying to find myself. Who knows? 5 more minutes, people. We're going to do 5 more minutes here. So throw something else out there. I definitely need to take a pill. Nick asked, did you find yourself? Kind of. I'm still trying to find myself. Like the song by the band that my wife absolutely hates says, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I did see most, if not all, of the country back then, part of Europe. And I had a lot of encounters of the sexual kind with random ladies all during that. So I can't complain about that part of it. Nick says, I'm still looking for that missing sock. You must be referring to the book Socks by Tom Duffy. We better write a damn chapter today. But it doesn't look like he's going to. We got like 7 or 8 chapters left in that book. Let's go. Let's do this. Back hurts. All right. About to wrap this up. Again, thanks for all of the support. Thanks for everybody hanging out. I don't know what song that was. Nick says, I know where my copy of Socks is. Probably next to your bed. Frank says, you blew it up. Pow. Thanks for hanging out, Keith, yet again. I will be here tomorrow. since I don't have a therapist anymore, I don't have to worry about therapy. Yeah, I'll be on it. I'll be on at noon because then I think right after then I got to drop my wife off at the airport, and then mentally prepare for Friday when Chad's book comes out. Nick says, "Oh yeah, what were your thoughts on Bo Jackson as a former Raider?" I love Bo Jackson. When Bo Jackson was not hurt, Bo Jackson was incredible as a baseball player and a football player. A career cut way too short. That was Bo Jackson is one of those what could have been, but he was the curse of the Raiders. Anything that they touched turned to garbage. Renee Heaton says, "See you later. See you later. Thank you for popping in again. Appreciate that." Frank Anther says, "Yeah." Chad says, "Yes, mentally prepare." Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to bed early on Thursday night. I'm just gonna have to just mentally prepare for that. Make sure you check out all of my videos if you have not. Give a man a fish, and he puts some Old Bay seasoning on it, cooks it up on the grill. I think that's the thing. Yeah, Bo knows. There was a period back in the day where I had a Bo Jackson White Sox jersey, and I would wear with a Raiders hat representing. Again, it's one of those what could have been. Could have been so beautiful. I think I'm going to, since my wife's not coming home to change the dog, I'm going to grab my Kindle Fire, which is fire, and read a few more of these short stories. Hopefully, read a couple of good ones, and that'll be it. And then hopefully look for my book review and movie review of The Friends of Eddie Quell. Those should be up today. All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. 2-hour mark. Yeah, parachute pants are awesome. Save parachute pants for tomorrow. We're going to look that up. We're going to figure out what parachute pants are.